Hi everybody. So if you've been watching my channel for some time, you know that pretty much all roads lead to no contact as being the most effective solution with a narcissist. And if you can't go no contact, then you do the gray rock, because you know a narcissist cannot be helped, they cannot be changed, they do not respond to therapy, so nothing can be done. So the only solution is recognize who you're with and get away from them as much as possible. Put as much distance between you. Now that sounds like a simple solution, but one thing that I haven't talked about very much is the struggle of remaining no contact and what makes it so difficult. I believe I've spoken about it before, especially in the neuroscience playlist. So if you have not watched the neuroscience playlist, you most definitely need to check that out. I believe that will make this video far more valuable. So if you haven't watched that playlist, please go check it out, then come back to this video and you'll understand why. But to sum it up real quick, what makes going no contact so insanely difficult, and why you go insane, and why the silent treatment works, is because emotional abuse hijacks the same brain centers as other addictions. So I always say it's the same brain centers as illicit drugs. I also like to mention that it's the same brain centers as gambling, because drugs is a substance, but gambling is a behavior, right? So think of a gambler, how they're constantly drawn to the game, the highs and the lows of the game, you know. The best odds ever on a game are 50-50, which means half the time you win, half you lose, and then it's all downhill from there. But it's the ups and the downs that make gambling addictive. And what makes gambling addictive is the same thing that makes a turmoil-laden relationship addictive. The ups and the downs, the swings, the ups and the downs. So know that you're now faced with addiction recovery, unfortunately. And I know probably 3/4 of you are watching this and either wondering what the hell I'm talking about, or saying, oh no, I'm not addicted to them, I hate their guts. It's like, well, yeah, but you're focused on them, right? And it's that constant focus that is the addictive part. The emotional part of it is different. It's separate from the actual focus, and it's because you get so conditioned to never know what to expect from this person, and so you've always got, you know, always have it on their mind, or you always have it on your mind of, what is this person going to do next? They're going to do something shitty, and I know they're going to do something shitty. They're going to try and screw me over. I got to keep my eyes open. And so you exert a lot of focus and attention on anything having to do with this person. And especially whenever you go no contact, you are expecting retribution, you're expecting revenge, you're expecting them to do something. And you wait 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 and you wait. And that's really the core of the addiction. It's that focus. And as with any other addiction, you go through withdrawal when you're not getting it. So how does this work? Again, I go into full detail in the neuroscience playlist, but suffice it to say that in your brain, the way addiction works, you have a neurotransmitter called dopamine, which is your do it again neurotransmitter. Dopamine is released anytime you do something rewarding, and it has two effects. It's a combination of a reward, and it writes to the part of your brain that says, we should do this again, and it writes to the part of your brain that says, this is necessary for survival. So this is how you get adrenaline junkies who do base jumping, and they engage in increasingly risky behaviors because they're getting a reward out of it, but then it writes to their brain that they need to do this again because it's necessary for survival. That's how gambling works. It hijacks the dopamine channel and writes to the brain that this is a good thing. This is a good thing. We need to do this again. I need to do this again because it is necessary for survival. That's the effect dopamine has. And in day-to-day situations, in day-to-day operations, it doesn't result in anything problematic. But when it gets hijacked by something that's toxic, it becomes a problem. So how does the turmoil-laden relationship produce this result? Because of the highs and the lows, right? How does that work? Because you would think that the combination of the highs and lows, there would be a mechanism that says, whoa, we should not do this again. But no, there's not. So how does this work? Well, when you're in the low and you get the high, that's when dopamine is released. And it writes to your brain, we need to do this again. Never mind the low. Once you're low again, you get the high, dopamine gets released and says, hey, this is a good thing. We should do this again. There you go. This is necessary for survival. And so you keep that up long enough, you're now conditioned that says, this is what I need for survival. Now, this is all very much in a biochemical level. This is all very much a subconscious kind of thing. And so I want to lay out for you exactly how this manifests, exactly what does withdrawal look like, feel like, sound like in your head and to others. And so you can identify it and recognize it and deal with it accordingly, because if awareness is key. If you don't know that your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are really just a withdrawal symptom, then how you can't really deal with it, right? So okay, if you're going through withdrawal, indicator number one, anything at all having to do with your ex, period, right? But the other thing is that the next step in that parade is your decision making, because your decision making is going to lead you around into a circle right back to your narcissist. So you're going to start having these sudden urges, these sudden desires, these sudden I call it the spider sense, where you're feeling like you need to do something, you need to do this, you need to do that, you want to reach out, like the things you're having to tell yourself no to, right? Because then the next step in that parade is, if you're consciously telling your subconscious no, then your subconscious is going to start trying to, you start to manipulate you. You start to rationalize, and you start to convince yourself that what you're actually doing is a good idea, right? So you say, well, I'm going no contact, but he really needs to know about Billy's baseball game this Thursday, so I guess I better reach out to him, right? No, you don't. See what I mean? Or you think, you think along the lines of, okay, I'm going no contact, but I should probably tell him I'm going no contact so he doesn't think I'm dead in a gutter in a ditch and call the police or something. So then what do? You send the message, hey, I'm going no contact, just so you know. And his response is, no, you're not. And you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So when you're going no contact, that angst, that misery, that insanity, anything having to do with your ex, that's the withdrawal from the addiction. So what do? Well, there's a number of things you can do. my number one recommendation is to get rid of your phone temporarily. Give your phone to somebody you trust for about a week or 2 weeks, or really just as long as possible. Trust me, if you're ever in an emergency situation, like being broke down on the side of the road, everybody's got a phone. You know, well, what if I need to reach somebody and I don't have their number memorized? Well, I got news for you. The truly essential phone numbers that you need, you'll have memorized. Period. Why? Because you will have needed it. You will have needed to know it so well that you actually take the time to memorize it. You know, memory is a funny thing. We only remember what we truly need. You know, if we know how to come across the information later, we don't bother remembering. We just remember where we can go to look up that information again. So what does that mean? Well, you're going to have the numbers memorized of the people you really, truly need in your life. And if you need to get in contact with somebody who you don't truly need, well then guess what? You can borrow a phone, call that friend who you gave the phone to and said, hey, I need unimportant McJohnson's phone number, and can you give it to me please so I can call? Or can you just send them a text for me please? Right? You know, if you're at work, chances are you've got access to a computer or some sort of device, or instant messenger, or a coworker with a smartphone. You know, it's a group effort. Breaking off with a narcissist and going no contact is not a single player game. It's not. You have to have a support system in place. It can be coworkers, it can be friends, it can be family, but you need a minimum of one person, right? And then aside from doing that removes the possibility that you can actually reach out and contact this narc. And I guess I should clarify, don't give your phone to your narc, okay? Just, I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I feel like I'm gonna have to say that. Don't give your phone to your narc. Don't give your phone to a flying monkey. Don't give your phone to anybody who knows them. Right? So there's your first, there's your criteria. Give your phone to somebody you know and trust, whose number you have memorized, who does not know your narc. Because if they don't know your narc, A, they can't be secretly a flying monkey. B, your narcissist can't call them and be like, hey, I haven't heard from do you know what's going on? Well, yeah, actually, he or she doesn't want to speak to you anymore, and so, you know, so you don't want your narc to be able to get any kind of information from you. So get rid of your phone, and then, I mean this in the most polite way possible. Get a life. Get your life back. Get a life. And that means fill your life with anything, everything, all of your old hobbies, friends. Go out. You know, go outside, make paper airplanes. You know, make figurines out of toilet paper. I don't know. You know, I'm not your mother. But go do something. You don't have your phone, so the last thing in the world you want to do is sit on your couch and veg out. Stay out of your house. Stay out of your house. Don't lock yourself in. And go outside. Get some sunshine. It's probably been a while since you've seen it. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, or share. I always love to hear back from people. Let me know your struggles. And we'll see you on the next video.